approximately 2015 is when we started our mentor-menteeship, mentor-mentee. I would say it goes a little further than just, this is how you play the game. It was more of tricks of the trade, if you will. What I learned from years and years of playing, I then passed on to William.
Is that something that you don't typically do?
There are Skillshare or Masterclass where literal experts, masters, teach their trade to people who subscribe to their service.
Okay.
And that has values of hundreds of dollars an hour to thousands of dollars an hour.
And you're saying that you passed on these skills
Yep.
for a price, not because he's your friend.
That's correct.
And the price was the cards.
That's correct.
Okay.
There was no sort of agreement that, this was a mentee relationship. My friends and I would go weekly for events, and sometimes he would sit down with us and, give us tips, but he worked at the store. He was the store's judge. He, ran the events. There was no sort of agreement of any sort of hourly. That was just his job.
So at some point, he, according to you, asked if he can borrow these cards for a tournament that he was entering in Vegas. Is that right?
Yeah. He asked to borrow a deck. So, when you compete, you enter a deck list of the cards you're going to use. So he asked to borrow a deck of 75 cards, and then I had a little binder of cards that you could change out, that I would change out when I competed. He asked to borrow those, and at this point we were friends. I figured,
So you gave him 75 cards?
75, and then a small binder that had somewhere probably between 15 and 20 additional cards. So about 95 to 100 cards.
Would you say that's accurate?
Yeah.
And you claim that he gave these to you?
Yes, they were not on loan, and they were my possession.
No, I understand it was in your possession, but were they yours? Or were they on loan?
No, they're mine.
They were yours. So did you call him while you were in Vegas when you realized that you lost the cards?
I think it was after I got home from Vegas. I was very inebriated the last day in the flight home.
That's what you do in Vegas.
That is what you do in Vegas. That's what I was
Gamble
under
and you
the impression.
drink. And you lost the cards because you had the cards where?
On the last day, I didn't do so well in the tournaments. I had my stuff.
Wait, you didn't do well? I was going to ask you how you actually did.
I did well the next time I went.
So obviously I wouldn't need him to mentor me.
Ooh, see?
Oh.
Made a point. Okay, go ahead, sir.
Sorry.
Last day you were in Vegas.
So we're in Vegas. So I have my backpack full of my cards, and I haven't gone on a bar crawl in Vegas ever, and I didn't want to do a whole thing. But
What's a bar crawl?
you visit multiple bars. You go to a bar, you get a drink or two.
It's
You
like
know
bar
everything
hopping?
else about
Yeah.
it.
Okay,
yes,
so
yes.
I use the word hop.
I guess
You
bar
said
hop's
crawl.
more.
I'd rather hop than crawl.
Bar
Go
hop's
ahead.
more. I went to multiple different bars. I had multiple different drinks at each bar. By the end of it, I had realized that I had 3 of the 4 things I usually carry. I usually
Okay.
carry my phone, my wallet, and my keys. So I stand up, phone, wallet, keys, all right, I can go. I didn't check for my backpack, and I walked away without it. I am not disagreeing that that was my mistake, that I lost my cards.
Okay, so if you lost your cards, then why feel the need to call him and say, I lost the cards? They're yours. Who cares?
At the time, we were friends, and I felt crappy. I was upset. I lost my cards. I was looking for some sympathy. Hey, buddy,
Are
that
you sure you
sucks.
didn't feel bad because they were his? Okay, so you said that you lost how much? $5,000 worth of cards.
Somewhere in the vicinity of $4,000 to $5,000.
So you're saying 4,000 were your cards.
I'm saying all of them are my cards.
In terms of the worth, you offered him $1,000. You said that
I did offer him $1,000 of compensation.
because you thought that that was what the cards were worth, not 3.
Correct. So something that he didn't explain and that in Magic, I have some evidence. There's multiple versions of cards. Some of them are very basic.
What am I looking at?
This is the expensive one. This is the cheap one. And I have more for the other judges if they want to see it.
Okay, I'm scared to
No,
it's
it's okay.
Okay,
The one in your left hand, that one is worth more than the one in your right hand.
when you say worth, how much?
The one in your left hand is worth $1 or $2. The one in your right hand is worth maybe 10 cents.
Okay. What is your point in
So,
providing
but
these?
in the game, they provide the same function. It's like driving. So I drive a Honda Civic. I could have gotten a Beamer, I could have gotten a Jag, but I prefer function over form. So I don't really care that the versions he gave me were worth so much more money.
They're worth so much, but yet
They provide the same-
function the same way as the cheaper ones. Why don't you just use the cheaper ones?
And I'll admit, there's a little bit of flair to using, it feels nicer to come out of a BMW, go up to the club.
Exactly.
than a
There's a
Honda.
little bit of flair when you're
Yeah.
coming out of a Beamer versus a Honda.
100%.
So you wanted to basically flex at this tournament with
yes.
the better cards.
Yes, but my plan was at the end of the tournament, I was going to sell them because at that point I was planning on moving the next month. And I'd much rather have cash than cards to pay for moving, movers, new couch. I got a brand new TV. It's a huge 86-inch TV. It's beautiful. 4K. I'm sorry. I needed the funds for moving.